feel like the society always wants to limit you. They will label you and put you in a box and tell you this is how you are supposed to be. Because we know that black people, they play basketball. Black people have to play and sing. This is what you are. So they always want to restrict your persona and your character and who you really are. Even though you have a desire to maybe study science, to be a doctor, to be a lawyer, to be something that naturally is not going to be really accepted by the society. But it's time to break those walls and decide what you really want to do for yourself, because no one can label you. You know, in life, no one can tell you who you are. You are yourself. You can tell who you want to be. You know, and I think that obviously having a Wakanda and Black Panther, the black superhero, completely changed those paradigm, because now it's like changing the whole concept and changing the whole view of things. Because now kids can actually believe in themselves and think, oh, actually I can be a superhero too. It's not really something that is not possible. And most of the time, this will have implications in their behaviors, in the way they socialize with others, because they don't really believe in themselves. But when they're able to see someone that can represent them, that someone that is like them and that is doing great things, they are even encouraged to even pursue even harder things and things that maybe before they wouldn't do. It's sad that when was there even the year that Black Panther came out? 2018?
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
But think about it, I'm like 25 now. So that means that when I was a child, there was no one like Black Panther. That means that I had to build myself by myself, with no help, with no representation, believing in myself, even when at times it was hard, because obviously not having anyone like me, not having any example or any model that I could follow. So think about it. Think about the kids that had to grow having all these doubts and questions in their minds. And at the age of it, 20 years watching a movie where for the first time is portraying a black hero. As if black people have not always been there. We've always been there. But this is the first time that they're portraying us in a movie. So my name is Josephin, and I was born and raised in Italy, and I'm an anthropologist. I studied cultural anthropology, and I live here in the UK, studying right now law. When I saw it, for me it was a shock initially, because obviously Black Panther represents something new. Every time that we have to watch movies with heroes, they're always white, they're always Caucasians. So this was the first time to see a fictional movie with a black hero. So for me, I found it, since I was born and raised in Italy, and I've always found myself I had to prove myself better, or always have to defend myself, or always find a way to prove my identity. For me, it was a great representation, because for the first time I could see something that was close, that was like me, so it was really inspiring at the same time. Not really, since I was a child in Italy, I've always been in the school, and I was always the only black girl in the whole school. And that the school is big,
Yeah.
So I was the only black girl in the school. So every time, even for little things that maybe they're not really, if you think about it, they are not really that deep. But I always used to, think about, why is it that I'm different? Why is it that people don't really like me? Because I was different. Obviously, my skin color was talking even louder than my words. Even though I was born and raised in Italy and I could speak the language fluently, I could say that I was 100% Italian, but I knew inside of me that there was a part of me. I had double identity, if I can say it that way, because I was born and raised in Italy, but at the same time, my culture, my background is from Africa. My parents are Ghanaian. So I had also different languages. So obviously, everything about me, it was to prove to others that this was not a liability, but it was an asset. You know, it was a positive thing to have more cultures, to have more identities coming together in one person, because it gives you more, you know, it gives you more character. You know what? One thing that I thought is that, you know, Wakanda, you know, in the movie, is like the city or the country. Obviously is a country that doesn't lack anything, that has everything in terms of technologies, in terms of, you know, food. I mean, everything they didn't lack anything. So one thing that I thought about is that from the newspaper, from everything around us, everyone knows that Africa is known as the third world. It's full of poverty. There's nothing really good coming out from that country, or from that continent, sorry. So from this movie, you could actually see the reality that Africa is not really what people think, and it's not really what people have portrayed it to be over the years, but it's something that is a continent that is full of, you know, is a fruitful country, is a country that has a lot of opportunities in terms of even if you think about all the richness that is in the world, a lot of things come from Africa. But every time that we have to talk about Africa, it's always like in a negative connotation. So I was thinking, actually, this is the real representation of what Africa is. Africa is the beginning and is the source of all the richness that is around the world. So, and you could see this Afro-futuristic costumes. So saying also, the point was, okay, Africa is also the future. Because in Africa, you know, you can also bring new ideas, new things, new ways of doing things. And you could also see this in the costumes, you know, the way they designed the costumes. You could see a bit of, you know, the African culture, even in various countries. I'm Ghanaian, so I'm going to talk about my part. So I could see some of the kente, which is the traditional material that is used in Ghana, and it represents royalty. It has a lot of importance and significance. So you could see that, but revisited in a futuristic way, because obviously it's a fictional movie, so you have to readdress it. But seeing all these little details made me realize that actually I'm actually very proud of my culture. My culture is rich. It has so much. I was already proud before, but it's like when I was proud, it was something that I was only able to talk with my friends that are coming from the same background, and we have the same understanding. But this time is a movie that is been like that people all over the world are gonna watch. So before, maybe it's something that is related only to you and your culture. So at times you feel like you're in a bubble, like this is your world. But this time Black Panther was able to break that ball and just reach out to everyone around the world to show that, you know what, Africa is not really what you think about. There is more, and you have to, you know, discover it. At the end, like Africa, for everyone that will go to Africa, everyone will realize that Africa is color, Africa is rhythm, you know? So even that, having that representation, as you said, in the musical aspect was amazing. Because then you could recognize those rhythms, you could recognize those cadences and say, oh, actually this is my country, or this is my world. Because most of the time, yeah, it's true, we used to listen to Beethoven and all these wonderful, you know, artists. But then that's not the only way that's not the only truth. Like there are other things we need to our perception has to be, our perspective has to be a bit wider, because there is much more. It's not only one type of thing, and it's not that only that type of music is the right one. There is much more that we can actually learn, you know? To my surprise, the Italians were not really that excited about the movie, because obviously it was not something that they were relating to. But for example, if anyone will ask me, for example if you ask me a question, I will gladly be like, oh, you know what, this is not really that simple. There's so much more in this movie, and that's why it's the epitome of beauty and the epitome of the celebration of their identity and where you're coming from. So yeah, few people asked me about it. But yeah, and most of the time when they asked me, they didn't really see, you know, those details that represented the culture of their continent. Yeah, that's true. It's always like they think that, you know, Africa has this paternalistic kind of approach, but then it's not true. Women have a strong and very important role in the society, and it's not always, you know, having kids and being mothers. There is much more. They're warriors. As well, yeah, I loved it because there were a lot of concepts that brought a lot of clarification to people that maybe don't know. I would say the fact that the country is rich. The country is rich. The continent, Africa in itself, is rich, is full of things. And saying that it's poor is a lie. That's really a part of it. And even the poverty in itself is an implication of what, you know, the Europeans did before. Yeah, I would say that that was really a good movie. It was really a good movie, and it was able to impact so many lives. And yeah, I'm happy that even if we are in 2020 now, things are slowly but surely changing, because we definitely need change. And for us to live in harmony and peacefully, we really need to understand each other and respect one another. So this is what I would say.